And welcome into a brand new edition of Bleav in Panthers here on Bleav Podcast Networks, brought to you by the fine folks over at FanDuel. Desmond Johnson in the house from Tobacco Road Sports Radio, and the Panthers' leading all-time rusher, Jonathan Stewart, in the house with me. Got some quick housekeeping to do for you guys in the post-draft aftermath. We'll get you caught up on all the Panthers news that you need to know for the week, and we'll get you ready for this upcoming weekend. Rookie minicamp is going to be starting Friday, May the 8th, and Saturday, May the 9th, featuring all of our draft picks, all our unrestricted free agents. It'll give the team a chance to kind of go through orientation, install stuff, instruct new players on NFL techniques, schemes, team energy, what the meaning of keep pounding is, all that good stuff. Stu, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Good, dude. It is Truist Championship week. I know you're new to this golf world, so man, there's a golf tournament that's happening here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We had Quail.
Oh, are you in it? We're doing
so I'll be playing tomorrow alongside some other Panther players. I'll be playing in a group. It's a scramble, so it's not like too much pressure as like their regular pro-ams, but this is their celebrity version of the pro-am, and it's a bunch of Panther players, former guys. And Luke Kuechly will be my caddy. So I feel like I have the best brains, at least on the course. And as long as I listen to, his advice, maybe I come away victorious and with some really good shots.
You could do a whole lot worse listening to somebody else's advice other than Luke Kuechly on life. Yeah. So I think you'll be good to go.
I feel like if you have, Luke. It's a blessing to have Luke in your phone, man. It's like that. What's that? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It's like who wants
call a friend?
Call a friend, man. Who wants to do good in life?
I can see you like in Walmart buying tires, and you just call up Luke. Hey, man, I'm looking at these two different types, and I don't know which one. Goodyear,
or which definitely one? Be able to help you figure it out. He might not even know anything about tires, but he will ask all the right questions to where he might actually figure out how to be an expert about tires in a matter of 15 minutes.
Hey, speaking of the devil, me and my wife, we found a driving range in Kernersville. It's a lot cheaper than Topgolf. You get like 100 balls for like $12. You just
yeah. Don't go to Topgolf. Listen, Topgolf is not like, if you're really trying to get good at golf, don't go to Topgolf.
That's like video game like golf. Like that's like Wii, like Mario Wii golf. Like doing this. I'm starting to learn a bit about, using different wedges and, how to get it to 100 feet, 150 feet, like kind of like we went yesterday. My feet are paying for it because like they were burning up in the middle of the night while I was sleeping, but it's like drink more water, Desmond. But other than that, like I'm getting to the point where eventually one of these days it's going to be out the blue where I'm like, Stu, it's time.
I'm ready.
Let's go.
I'm ready for the course.
I needed, me and her got to go to like a short course or something first, just so I know because I don't want to go with you someplace and have my ass out there and just
man, it's part of it, man. Stuff and it's all part of it. We all started somewhere.
Because you're gonna be hitting like 250-yard drives, and I'm gonna be hitting these little 50-yard dribblers.
That's all you think I can hit? Well, I'm over here hitting 350.
See, as I'm talking about Tiger Woods in the house, man. So we'll get that together and we'll figure out something else. I was thinking actually when we finally get it together, we should find out where Skylar is. Skylar Callahan, see what he's up to. He probably needs a little break. So we'll find out, see where he's at, see maybe we can get a threesome going. So for today, one of the first bits of news that I saw, the Panthers are hiring former safety Mike Adams to the staff, to the defensive staff. And people might be like, well, why is that such a big deal? It's a big deal because Ejiro Evero almost got the Cleveland Browns head coaching job this past offseason. And our secondary coach almost became the defensive coordinator for the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. So we ran the risk of losing a lot of staff on our defense. And by putting Mike Adams on it, you build some continuity. So if those guys actually leave next year, Mike Adams would be in place to maybe move up and do something. So just to explain real quick, because Stu actually played with Mike Adams, so he can tell you the kind of character and person he is. He's coming in as a Bill Walsh coaching fellow. And what that means, basically, he will be joining the Panthers staff. He played 2 seasons here, 2017, 2018. He retired in 2019. Entered the coaching ranks with 4 years experience now under his belt. A Bill Walsh coaching fellow. He worked for the Chicago Bears in 2021, assistant defensive backs coach. assistant special teams coach and assistant secondary coach from the Giants from 23 to 25. The coaching fellowship allows him to observe, participate, and gain experience on the Panthers staff through the offseason, training camp, and preseason with the intention of landing a full-time position on the staff. Kind of like an internship is the way it sounds. So he'll be there under Giro Evero, defensive passing game coordinator Jonathan Kuechly, and new secondary coach Ronaldo Hill. If they give him a role on the staff after the summer, likely as an assistant secondary coach, they'd have an internal pipeline, basically, is what people are saying, that if they needed to pull up somebody, they wouldn't have to go off the team or out of the, off the reservation.
Out of the network, yeah.
Yeah, they can just let Mike advance up and go from there, which I like that in terms of thinking ahead. But thoughts on Mike Adams, because you played with him his last 2 seasons before he retired. He's a safety, one of the vets on that team. You guys made a playoff run in 2017. Thoughts on Mike Adams and bringing him into the coaching room?
Well, first of all, I think people should take notice of what's happening here. This is not just a coaching move. This is not just this is part of the process. Good teams have good practices, Desmond. And what we're seeing here is good practice of the organization. It's making sure that you have things in place for what if territory. And, but not just a random what if. You got Mike Adams, a guy that played for the Carolina Panthers for 2 years, 2 seasons. It was an important season because, it was the year after the Super Bowl slump, right? That he joined the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And whenever you have a slump like that, man, it's hard to pull yourself out. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of guys that are moving on the roster, a lot of changes, and you still want to keep that thing intact, right? That chemistry, that culture intact. You bring a guy like this into the organization, not just as a vet that's going to, show everybody the ropes, but go out there and make plays. My man balled out while he was in Carolina at the later stage of his career. And it goes to show you that this is a type of guy that knows ball in and out. This is a guy that knows how to stay in the league and stay competitive and still find your edge and find your the tweaks and the little, what do you call it? The wittiness, right? To the vet, right? The vet presence. So this is a guy that's going to come into Carolina Panthers. You got young guys in the room, right? You got a young safety, a couple of young safeties in the room.
Yeah.
That's going to be able to learn a lot from Mike Adams. They're going to learn how to be a pro, right? They're going to learn how to stick guys across the middle like he did Julio Jones. I remember we played the Falcons. I can't remember if it was the second year here or the first. It had to be 2017. But he stuck Julio Jones when he was coming across the middle so bad, dog. I lost my breath. Julio had the ball across the middle. It was like a routine Julio-ism. and it was like, oh yeah, that's a catch. Nope. He met Mike Adams. It was a clean hit too. It was with a shoulder, had his head down. So, he knows what he's doing. He's going to teach guys the right fundamentals. He's going to teach guys little things of how to make an impact as a hard-hitting safety when it matters the most without getting penalized, right? Like last year, we had some, bonehead things that went on against the Saints, right? Just like the fundamental mentality of wanting to make a play, but doing it in the context that matters where you don't get penalized. Stuff like that, right? But yeah, man, I love the pickup. Mike Adams, we still talk to this day. And obviously his coaching career is going to take off, I think, in a lot of ways because he's respected amongst guys that he's played with. He's respected amongst the coaching staff overall, this whole entire league. And so when you get that kind of guy, that kind of presence in a locker room as a coach, there's a lot that comes with that in the positive direction.
I immediately thought of, you mentioned the young safeties we have, Lathan Ransom, who we got last year. late from Ohio State, and Zakai Wheatley, who we got this year, actually in the same round, 5th round, safeties that I think are going to be major parts of the future of the secondary of the Carolina Panthers. Like it's weird we're so trained to think that for the draft, the first 2 rounds you're looking for like starters or main contributors, and then really 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, you're looking for like depth, backup, special teams, that kind of stuff. That is not what Dan Morgan is doing.
No, he's not just getting guys in here just to fill spots. He's finding guys to figure out, hey, like you bring a guy in like Mike Adams, that means you're paying attention to the fact that, hey, this coaching staff still has to develop players. Okay. And I trust a guy like Mike Adams to come in here and help us do that.
Teach how to thump properly. Like it's like the whole plan. He's watching in place, and you're just like, some of these dudes he's picking in the 5th, 6th round, I kind of fully expect to be playing. Like playing, and that's like weird.
Wheatley, I think Wheatley is the one.
Yeah,
I honestly think Wheatley might be the one. And we'll see it to come as it comes to fruition. We'll be cheering on the sideline, Desmond, and we'll be telling everybody we was the ones that said he's the one.
But we said it back.
But when you add Mike Adams to that coaching room, it makes me feel even better about that.
So you had that happen this week as we hit the hot spots with the Panthers news here on a condensed Bleav and Panthers here on the Bleav podcast networks. Also this past week, since last time we saw you guys, the Panthers officially pick up quarterback Bryce Young's 5th-year option. Many people wondered if they would. We did not. Dan Morgan cleared this up before the draft. He just said, well, he hadn't been in the building, so that's why we haven't signed it. I mean, just matter-of-factly, like it was going to get done, and it did. Bryce is not going into his 5th year. He's going into his 4th year. So technically, they'll have him through the 2027 season as it is right now. But after you get through this upcoming season, that's when you start talking about max extension type stuff, like, $250, $270 million Brock Purdy type deals. Thoughts on where we were with Bryce Young at this point last year to this point this year? Like, what a difference a season makes in terms of, now you still got a ways to go. Like, I mean, it's still kind of ebb and flow, up and down. Bryce Young, look, it started to even out a little bit.
Bryce Young, let's call it what it is, man. He an NFC South champion. Okay, that's what he is. Yep. All right, this man rose above and came out of the ashes, and basically said, "Hey, y'all forgot about me, and that's okay. I'm gonna let you off the hook." 8-9, best career start for the Carolina Panthers. 3,000 yards. 203 touchdowns, 63% completion rating, 87.8 QB rating. I mean, he led the lead in 4th down passing, brother.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Forget about that. Yeah. Clutch.
So there's a lot of growth there as far as what we're seeing in our franchise quarterback, NFC South champion. He got a beard too now. I don't know if you've seen any pictures. A man he's becoming a man. He's getting a beard. I wish I could grow a beard.
What's going on?
Like it'll be interesting. By training camp, is it going to be like a nice like thick beard? Like
Bryce Young with a full grown beard? Like,
man, that's going to be nice. Like, I don't know. Like, we got to get used to this. But 8-9 doesn't get you what you talk about the 2027, right? When you talk about after this year, what are the talks going to be in the next offseason? Hopefully the talks in the next offseason are, all right, y'all got to pay me. Let's extend that. We need that, right? Yep. Because what we do want to see is a little bit more consistency, right? Fewer turnovers, obviously. Figuring out how to make your receivers right. I know it sounds stupid, because a lot of times receivers are taught to make your quarterback right. But, when you look at, Peyton Manning, when you look at Tom Brady, these are quarterbacks that made their receivers right all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I think Bryce can do that.
And I think he can do that. And I think we got the receivers in the room for him to find that chemistry to do it as well. And I don't want to be in these. We had 12 game winning drives, man. I don't want to be in these game winning drive situations.
No, I want to blow them out. Yeah,
it don't got to be a dogfight every week, man. Like, put them to sleep early sometimes. I want to see a couple of games where we just putting guys to sleep. All right.
I mean, unless we play Atlanta like 15 times, like it feels like. I mean, people forget this dude set the passing record for the franchise this year against Atlanta, 530 some yards. Like, just insanity. Like some of the games you see him, you're like, is this the same player? Like, this guy did this in this week, and then the next week it's like he threw for 104 yards and like 12 receptions. Like, I don't understand it. But again, he was playing with a makeshift offensive line. He had injuries from Robert Hunt, probably the leader of that group, was out from week 1, week 2, when he tore his spots up. The running back room was banged up. Chuba started the season kind of banged up, and then Reefer got banged up halfway through. Yeah, so they were a little banged up there. And then other than that, he kind of navigated through. And now they've fortified the offensive line. You're going to get Lewis back off a full offseason. Damian Lewis and company is, I think it's the most expensive offensive line in football, if I'm not mistaken. So you've got that there to protect him. You've got a Jonathan Brooks coming in to the running back room, so we'll get some new juice there. Chuba already got his back a couple years back, so everything's secure. And you've added some more weapons for Bryce. So if he's going to do something, this is the thing, because especially too, if you're calculating, if I'm Dan Morgan, I'm thinking, okay, our window to really try to make a push and get to the Super Bowl is now, the next 2 years, because after that, Bryce's contract's going to kick in. And when Bryce's contract kicks in, it's going to limit what we can do signing or retaining some of these players we've been getting in these drafts, because inevitably some of these players he's picked in the 4th, 5th round, they are going to emerge 2-3 years later as guys that can go get some money in the free agency market if the Panthers can't retain him. And if you're paying Bryce Young $280 million, you can't keep them all. So this is the window, the last years of his rookie deal, where if you're going to make a push, if you look back over the years when teams have done this, the Steelers with Roethlisberger, the Seahawks with Russell Wilson, when they won their Super Bowl, it was in his rookie contract. And then it was hard to get back because you had to pay Legion of Boom, you had to pay Russell, you had to pay everybody else.
Yeah, you want to do it before.
Yeah, you got to do it before. So we'll see what happens with that. And Bryce, some more news. We've seen online, me and Stu, we kind of keep a gauge of Panther Nation online in terms of where y'all at, your vibes and everything. And the main thing we've kind of seen after the draft is questions about the Panthers pass rush, which, which is fair. The Panthers pass rush wasn't the best in the league, wasn't the worst like it was 2 years prior, but there's lots of room to improve. I keep seeing Jadeveon Clowney getting attached to us. He's still out. I think he played with Dallas last year, unrestricted free agent. From South Carolina. We had him here 2 years ago, matter of fact. Do you think they need to sign a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, or do you trust the guys in the room, Princely, Umama Yellen, Nick Scordon, Devin Lloyd, the guys they just got out of free agency? Do you think it's enough there? Because Dan seems to think it is. Do you think they need to get another guy, or are you pretty happy?
I think there's enough there. I mean, obviously we lost DJ Warnham, right? And I think we picked up Jalen Phillips, and that's our guy. That's the guy we paid, and he's going to be the guy. He's going to be expected to be the guy to not only get after the quarterback, but to continue to do the things he was doing in Philly, which was being active. You know what I'm saying? When he was in Miami, being active in the run game, making sure you squeeze those gaps to make sure that the runs don't pop to the second level, those types of things, right? But I also like Patrick Jones. Last year when Patrick Jones was on that field, he was a difference maker. And I think he's a sleeper, man. He's a sleeper in the sense of what people should be talking about. If you go back and you watch film, you go back and you watch, the trajectory of the games that he played in, that defense was on point. Straight up.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's a long body. He's a great player, athletic, and he just had the bad luck of the draw of getting injured last year. So I like the fact that we have him. I love Princely, and from the sense of where his ceiling can go. I think that's what we should. That's to be determined. And I think him and Scorton will be able to be guys that will push each other to make sure that their craft is where it needs to be the best pass rushers that we brought them in to be. Now bringing in Clowney, I don't know if that's necessary, but it does make sense because Clowney's been here. It's his home. It's a guy that went to Dallas and had 8.5 sacks. Okay.
We can use those.
We can use those.
Okay.
Those. And so, I mean, when he was here in his time, in Carolina for that 2024 season, he had 5.5 sacks, Desmond. He would have led the team last year.
Yeah, we could
use those. He would have led the team in sacks last year. So when you talk about it in that context, yeah, that makes sense.
I think we're talking ourselves into it. Yeah.
Come on down, Clown. Welcome back, brother. As a matter of fact, you got the same locker, man.
Right.
Same
we
locker
took
and everything. Yeah, man. We updated the whole kitchen and everything, man, since you've been gone.
They could use the veteran presence in there. Like, since you got those young guys.
I love it. And if he wants
to,
especially if he wants to be here, right?
Yeah.
And I think, bear case, you probably signing him for about $4 to $5 million. Give him some sack incentives. It wouldn't be that, big of a cost.
And the thing too, people need to keep in mind that he was here the first year of Dave Canales and Dan Morgan. Like, so he's familiar with the regime. It's not like he's coming in underneath a different regime from when he was here, 2 years before. This is the same group, but 2 years wiser. The roster's more fleshed out. And I keep thinking back to 2015, where if you get a guy like a Jadeveon Clowney to come back this time around, it'll be more like the reason why, like Jared Allen joined in 2015. You're a vet. You're towards the end of your career. You can still contribute and give him some juice and spots, give him some sacks. And that, plus adding other vets and sprinkled spots throughout, that's what fleshed out that roster. Like, that's what put it over the top. And then the youth and the experience mixed together with the talent, that's what, and then you guys just kind of got on a roll. Like, and that's what I'm waiting for this Panther team to do next year, because that's the one thing they haven't done yet with Bryce. They haven't gotten on a roll where they're winning 4, 5, 6 games in a row. They start feeling themselves. Yeah, it's not about how we're going to beat you. It's about, can you beat us? Like, that kind of mentality. That's the switch I'm waiting for them to flip over to. And they got to do it from the beginning. It can't be like 1-2 hole, 1-3 hole, and then you start trying to figure out how to win and you go back and forth. Nah, I need like a 3-0 start, like a 4-0 start. Like, put the league on notice from the beginning. Like, our time is now, because the people that complain about the national media don't talk about the Panthers. They do. They talk about the Panthers when we win. Why would they talk about us when we lose? Like, I mean, the only team they talk about when they lose is Dallas. So it's like, we can't expect them to be paying attention to what we're doing until after the fact. Because even when we're winning, we've seen they won't pay attention to us until we're 7-0, 8-0, 9-0. And even then they'll make excuses. Like, they haven't been paying attention. Like, they haven't been watching. And I'm waiting to see what they're going to do with that. But we'll keep an eye. Clowney's still out there and could be had on a hometown discount depending on how many years has he played. He's deep in 12, 13 years.
At least 11.
Yeah, so he's towards the back end of his career. But again, South Carolina native, played at University of South Carolina, played here 2 years ago. That might be a name to keep an eye on. Something else too, one of the things Dan Morgan has been good, really good, the past 2 off seasons after the draft, is bringing in a specific undrafted free agent that becomes a key contributor to the roster. Last year or 2 years ago, it was Jalen Coker that he brought in. And now Coker, by all intents and purposes, is wide receiver number 2, like, in this offense. So I think he proved that the last 5 or 6 games of the year in the playoff game against the Rams. I think he's going into this preseason as wide receiver 2 with Tech number 1. This year, the guy to watch, and a lot of players are looking at, quarterback Haynes King from Georgia Tech. I didn't realize this, Stu. This is the 2025 ACC Player of the Year. Like, I forgot that Georgia Tech was nationally ranked for like most of the year. They were undefeated for a while. They run like a run heavy, if I'm not mistaken, they run this like old school, like triple option type offense kind of, and they just kind of run it at kind of high school almost. But like, if you see it enough time, you run the same thing 50 plays.
It's a system, right? I think they try to sprucing it up a little bit more these days, but it's still part of their DNA and their system for whatever reason. But this is a good get. I love speed.
I love 4.47. He ran a 4.47 40.
I love it. Get him in there. Let's see how fast you can run, fella.
See, I'm thinking,
because you know what that's going to be good for? That's going to be good for practice squad. Ooh. Hey, you go run around and make these guys chase you.
I was thinking even further, like, could this be Taysom Hill 2.0? Like the way the Saints use Hill? Because Hill's one of the most frustrating players in the league.
He's 6'3".
He can run.
So he's got some size to him. And we don't want to have her put Bryce in the situation of a QB sneak.
We're already switching him out anyway.
We got a fourth down. We got a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 2nd and 1, whatever it is. We want to get that extra yard. We bring a guy like this in here.
You don't have to even list him as a quarterback. You can list him as like whatever they list Taysom Hill. Like,
no, we're gonna call Haynes. You right on. We're gonna call Haynes King the RPO King.
RPO King.
Yeah, we're gonna be RPO because we wanted to be in shotgun all the time last year anyway, right?
Yeah,
we wanted to be in shotgun and short yardage. I'm like, what are we doing here? Because we're gonna RPO him.
It's like if you see him come in, I could see him come in, and Brad Isaac's like, okay, it's 3rd and 3. The defense has no idea what we're about to do. We could do RPO. We could throw it
to him. We can
let him run it. Like we hand it off, do a switch. Like everything's in play, and you're not risking. Even though Bryce has been working out, growing beards and stuff, you're not risking Bryce running down the field.
Bryce probably about picked up. I don't know how many pounds he picked up. At least 8.
So I mean, this worked for the Saints. This has worked for the Saints for the past 5 years. Hell, Taysom Hill got $100 million contract doing this. Like this is. I just saw him get signed. I'm like, is that what you're trying to do? Because now there's 4 quarterbacks on the roster, I think, counting Bryce.
And I mean, I think you got to think about it. Like, why did he fall? Right? He's 25 years old. He spent 6 years in college. There's 25. Other guys that you're going to want to get in here that are younger that you can develop and not have to have a freaking belt of tools to unwrench bad habits of 6 years in the making. So I think that's probably the reason why he fell, and I think he has some turnover issues, but I think it was a system thing. Think about it. Like it's not a quarterback system.
Yeah, and you wouldn't depend on him to be the quarterback. Like if Bryce went down or something, that's why you have the guys. Just like
That's why you got Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I played golf with Will Greer and Kenny Pickett last week.
Oh yeah.
And both of them can play golf.
Oh yeah.
They both.
Checks out.
And Will Greer is a stick, boy. I tell you, we've gone on a couple golf trips, in the past, and I knew he was a stick. But Kenny Pickett just picked up golf about he said 2 years ago, maybe last year.
See,
and he's an athlete, though.
Yeah. It's so addictive, and like even when I'm like yesterday when I'm hitting drives or whatever, and you'll get one where your right hand sting a little bit because you kind of hit it a certain way. You make a nice day like I don't want to go back and fix that.
Yeah.
Like it's all like so I'm trying to pace it, but
that's good though.
The driving range
that's gonna make you live longer, man. That mindset,
it's gonna make
you thinking about my body's got to get better at something.
Yeah, and I told my wife stages, because she's out like every other day, like in thrift shops looking for golf clubs, golf balls.
Man, she needs to be at the range. She don't need to be out there looking for nothing.
I'm looking at the bag over here. There's like 15 clubs in this thing. I was like, this is like 2 sets of clubs you got in this bag. You got me hauling around. Like, this is crazy. Like some of them too short for trying to figure it out. But we'll get all that together. The rookie mini camp, as we get out of here, it starts this Friday, May 8th, May 9th. It'll have all of our draft picks, including our first round pick, offensive lineman Monroe Freeling, and undrafted additions like Haynes King from Georgia Tech. Again, like I mentioned, we've talked about it before. You've seen previous seasons where we've asked you, what's in rookie mini camp? Basically installation, just kind of getting to know the team, getting to know the processes, allowing the coaching staff to kind of instruct the new players and everything. The off-season schedule, this is important because this is usually around the time we take a little bit of a short break. OTAs are May 26th, 27th, and the 29th, June 1st, 2nd, and 4th. Then mandatory mini camp is June 9th through 11th. Participants for our 8 draft picks: Freeling, Lee Hunter, Chris Brazzell II, Will Lee III, Sam Heck, Zakai Waitley, Jackson Kuach, and then undrafted free agents. I forgot that Dan brought in wide receiver Kobe Prentice also, that's unrestricted free agent. And again, he typically finds 1 or 2 guys in undrafted free agency that stick around, and not only stick around are like key parts of the roster. And I don't think that's gonna be anything different. They're very good at talent evaluation, in my opinion, and what they want for their system. So that's that. So this is the 5th of May as we tape this. what will probably happen, I would imagine, we'll probably take a couple weeks off. We'll come back around OTAs around the start of May, and just kind of probably some more news to report by then. Then mandatory minicamp is that first and second week of June. We're usually gone by then, and then come back around training camp, which would be end of July, I believe. Actually, it might be a little earlier. We might be one of the first ones to start because we're in the Hall of Fame game. So we got an extra game to play. So I'd imagine we'll probably start a week or so before everybody else.
Yeah, I'll be going down there to the Hall of Fame game too.
I thought about it because I have family in Cleveland, and we usually go up there in the summer. So if I could time it right, I might try to do that. I've never been for a Hall of Fame ceremony. I have been to the Hall of Fame building and been inside. It's a pretty cool place if you're a football fan. It's not just NFL stuff. It's like the history of football, like all these different leagues, Negro League, Canadian Football League, all this different stuff in there. So if you're a football geek, you get a chance once in your life, go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's really pretty cool. Anything else you want to hit before we get out of here, Stu, as we neatly tie this up in 30 minutes?
Rookie minicamp. Guys are showing up. They don't know the playbook. They don't know nothing. They're nervous. The vets aren't there. They ain't got nobody to help them besides the coaches. And, it's all about, the coaches getting pure teaching reps, getting an opportunity to see how does this guy take coaching. Is he as coachable as what the college coaches said they were? Is their personalities as bright as they had anticipated? Is Freeling, as gifted as we hope him to be, right? Like in the sense of being able to just pick up teaching reps. This isn't, a make or break type of opportunity, but it does give, the guys that were undrafted, right? The guys that we just talked about, it gives them a chance to be seen and seeing how they can gel and seeing what their personalities do for a roster spot, right? And then, after June 11th, these rookies have a chance to stick around and still be, in that rookie mode of picking up the playbook and staying and getting in flow and rhythm of what it means to be a pro, getting ready for this, training camp. And so, hats off to the guys that got drafted. Hats off to the guys that went undrafted. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Yeah. A lot of guys might be feeling discouraged or overlooked or whatever it is, but this is your moment. So you got to take full advantage of it.
Before we go, I did need to mention FanDuel and making sure you head over to sportsbook.fanduel.com to put in your bets. The NBA playoffs are going on right now. Championship odds right now. 2025-26 NBA Finals winner, the Oklahoma City Thunder lead at negative 170 odds. Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs are at plus 470. The New York Knicks with Jalen Brunson are at plus 900. Kate Cunningham and the Pistons are at plus 1,800. The Cavaliers at plus 2,200. I don't trust the Cleveland Cavaliers. They got James Harden on that team, and it's May. I don't trust them at all. The Minnesota Timberwolves are at plus 3,000. So basically, the Thunder and the Spurs are the favorites to win the NBA title this year, and you can cash in over at FanDuel. Just go over to sportsbook.fanduel.com, place your bets on that. They've even got NBA Finals MVP odds. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading that. Victor Wembanyama right behind him, and then different pairings in the finals right now. The Knicks versus the Thunder seems to be the favorite in the NBA Finals. You got a finals matchup you'd like to see before we get out of here?
Man.
Not that it would happen, but like, what would you like to see?
Man, I would like to see the Lakers.
Yeah, that's where I was going. I want to see that. It ain't gonna happen, but I want to see the Lakers.
But unless we see Luka get back out there, I ain't got no chance.
Bro, I told my guys on my show last week this, and I never thought I would say this about LeBron James. If LeBron James and the Lakers can pull this off and beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have won 140 games in the past 2 seasons, and then beat Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs in the conference final to get to the finals,
with his son,
and then beat like the Knicks in the finals in a Laker uniform, I gotta start putting LeBron in the GOAT category. Like he officially enters the chat, like with him and Jordan at a table by themselves. Because that'd be 5 at that point. Yeah, he's 41. He's 41. No one has played like this long, like, even Kareem. So it's like I already said, if they get past the Thunder, like here, that would solidify him as 2 to me. Because right now I've had Kareem for the longest, and he's like 3 or 4 to me. Yeah. If he can do this at this age, this big age, I got to put him at 2, no asterisk, nothing. And if they can get to the finals and win it, if he wins 2 in a Laker uniform, that's like you get a statue. You can get a statue like that. I mean,
I remember a couple of years ago we was talking crazy about the rankings of teams, and I was, obviously talking crazy, but the GOAT is Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James is the second GOAT.
I think he's it. Yeah, I think so.
And listen. Put LeBron James out there on that court with who Kareem was playing. He's scoring about 120.
Oh, he's surrounded with Magic and Michael Cooper and James Worthy and all these Kurt Rambis.
Look, he's scoring 120. I don't care. He's too fit. The guy's a physical specimen.
The first one I see in the NBA Finals betting odds on FanDuel is Knicks Lakers at plus 5,000, and that was actually Knicks Lakers would be fun. Yeah, so I'm like,
the Knicks looked like they was on fire last night.
Well, some of these teams,
man, Philly was out there holding their breath in the water.
The Knicks have figured something out. Like the past couple of games, they've figured something out for sure. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. They play. We're taping this on Tuesday, so the Lakers and the Thunder play tonight, opening game of the second round for them.
Yeah, so, shout out to my Hurricanes, man. My Carolina Canes.
I need to start paying more attention.
Round 2.
See, I don't even pay attention to hockey here, and we actually probably have the favorites to win the Stanley Cup. So I probably should.
We about to win it. We about to win it all, baby.
That's what it sounds like. So I might need to find some hockey folks to come on my show and talk, because I don't know.
Yeah, we can do that. If y'all want to get on some hockey, let's get on some hockey.
Hey, like they say in hockey, let's do that hockey. Let's do that hockey. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. For Jonathan Stewart, this is Desmond Johnson. You've been watching and listening to the Bleav in Panthers podcast on Bleav Podcast Networks, brought to you by FanDuel. Again, we'd probably be off for a couple of weeks. We'll be back around OTAs around mid-May. We will see you guys then, unless something crazy happens. And then, of course,
we'll be here. Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah. Again, unless something crazy happens, you might see us poke in and tell you our thoughts on that. So just keep it locked here. Make sure you subscribe to the Bleav YouTube channel so you get updates from when we're on, as well as any audio podcast platform. We'll see you next time.